Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So I was right for waiting to do this video because, I was putting this video off for a while. I wasn't expect Johnny H. SUNUNU to announce it this soon, but it happened to work out because not just now, but 9 hours ago is the latest, Johnny SUNUNU has officially announced his campaign to run for Senate in the New Hampshire race. And this is very, very good news at a very good time when we are questioning, and rightfully so, if Senator Susan Collins is running for re-election. Because it's still pretty much undecided. We would like to have her run for re-election, but the reality is Susan Collins is old, and whether it be this year, next year, or this coming midterm year, or the 2032 midterm year, eventually, this seat's going to flip back to Democrats. That's just the ultimate reality that we have to accept, and whether it be this year or next year, logic says that it would be smart for the GOP to lose this seat this year, seeing that, Republicans are going to win the Senate anyway. They have a favorable map this year, and rather than it's not guaranteed to be that way in 2032 or whatever this seat, 2032, which is the next time in 6 years where the seat will be open up next. It's not guaranteed that we're going to have a favorable map. It might be a favorable map for the Democrats, forbid not, but it might be that way otherwise. But that's why, we really are playing with the idea of Susan Collins not running, this seat going Democrat. You already have the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, running. She's unpopular, but we forget all the time that this is a federal race, okay? Popularity really doesn't matter. It's like, for example, Mills, if she ran for president, she will likely carry her state out of the name recognition, and she would also, and overall, it's a blue state, right? They don't like her in Maine, but they'll vote for her. Absolutely, 100%. It would not be put into context. And she very likely would lose the presidential election altogether due to her popularity, but she would win Maine. That's because it's balanced at the federal level. You don't have the official state Democratic Party. She might be weaker in the state Democratic Party of Maine, but she's a stronger candidate in the national Democratic Party, the NC, in other words. But we're talking about John SUNUNU because John SUNUNU jumping in this race is absolutely beneficiary, because in case what will happen is if Susan Collins doesn't run, then this seat's going Democrat, and Republicans will at least gain a net worth of -1, a loss of 1, and we don't want net losses. We definitely don't want that. We want to do net gains, and that's kind of our goal for the Senate race. We're going to win this race regardless, and whether it's going to be a good year for the Republicans in a Senate campaign, in a Senate race, it's going to be determined on how much Senate seats we pick up. It's not much we pick up, it's how much we lose. We don't want to lose any. That's the goal. We managed to pick up a net gain of 4 last year. And this year, we don't really have much to gain this year around. We do have let's see if I can pull up 270 to win. We can pull up the Senate. We have ability to flip Maine, Michigan. We already have Maine. No kidding. But yes, so we can officially put New Hampshire into play. I don't know why it's still colored. But yes, these are your toss-up states for this coming year. Republicans already win. So counting the seats that Republicans already have, like they have Maine and they have North Carolina. So we have a possibility that we're going to pick up a net gain of 3. Okay, net gain of 3, and the cap we can hit, the most we can hit is 56. This is realistically what is expected. 56 is the best. If Democrats can't lose a net worth of 3 in the Senate race, and you can't say, and you can't deflect, oh, well, Democrats had a bad year because of Republican gerrymandering. No, it doesn't matter, because you lost 3 seats in the Senate race. Remember, we don't gerrymander in the Senate, only in the House. Oh, the House only does redistricting. So it's really do or die for Democrats. But what is the likely scenario likely going to point out? I've already expressed my views on Maine. I do think with Janet Mills in this race now and Susan Collins stalling, it's as of right now, I'm not saying it's going to. It's probably barely going for Susan Collins. It's barely going for Janet Mills. Barely. If a very tight race. I would say the Roy Cooper race, I don't know. I would say we would beat him. I personally think we will with Michael Whatley. And you have, right now, I don't know. So, yeah, right now, I don't know where things stand, actually, with this race. I mean, I would assume that Michael Whatley would pick it up. Well, let's just say, gamble and say it. You could say that we take out John Ossoff. I'm not sure about SUNUNU yet. We'll see. Michigan, not sure. So, if we can keep it at 53, then that's very good. That's very good. But right now, it's really tossed up. And I would say SUNUNU's name is a very powerful name. We talked about his name a while ago, and he's not the nominee. He'll have to face a contest with Scott Brown, but it looks like he's overwhelmingly favored to win the nomination against Scott Brown. And I think we have every right to. Looking at the polls, yeah, sure, Chris Pappas is beating SUNUNU. The latest poll, not too long ago, is just Pappas and SUNUNU just neck and neck. But these polls are good for like a year out. Let's remember, polls that are usually a year out, they usually have Democrat response bias. Okay? Democrat response bias. Democrats are likely going to be the ones participating in these polls, while more closer races, when it gets closer and closer and closer, you might see Republicans gain a little bit. Now, Chris Pappas, he is a congressman incumbent in office, and he is going to be a tough opponent to beat. That's why I'm saying, hey, secretly, you're going to have to hope he loses the primary. I mean, yeah, it's not guaranteed that he's going to win the primary. I mean, he's running against Jared Sullivan, who's a state representative. You got also the Karishma Mansur, who comes from the New Hampshire Democratic Party Rules Committee. So the primary, which is, I'm not sure when the primary is scheduled. I guess the Secretary of State of New Hampshire will determine the primary date coming up next year or something like that. But I'm surprised I'm not seeing any results here, because October the 22nd, yeah, this race just got a lot closer for a lot more tighter. And seeing that an independent is also filed paperwork to run. Matt Giovanizzi, I don't know, is he an independent? I don't know if he can take. It's difficult, because I would imagine that SUNUNU resonates with libertarians. That's good to have, to be honest. But it's good to have that libertarian vote in New Hampshire. That would definitely make it more closer in general. But would it be enough to actually win? So I am going to go ahead and do a map simulation, see if we can actually pull this off. This is a Pappas versus Sununu race. We did one like 2 months ago. Let's see if my opinions of the race have changed. I do think it's going to be close because Sununu, being a former senator, it's very different compared to the other GOP nominees where they were basically no-namers, really. No-namers. In 2020, I mean, yeah, Jeanne Shaheen was a very popular senator, but she was running against Corky Messner, who got 40.90%, and Messner was a corporate attorney and former U.S. Army soldier. So yeah, we keep nominating these generals, these retired military veterans, and to run for the Senate, and it's not working. It is not working. Okay, we got to be real here. Our voters want experience. Okay, they respect our men in armed forces, but what qualifies them to be a senator? What qualifies them to serve in the Senate? Now we got John Sununu. He was a senator, and really, Sununu just lost to Shaheen in 2008, mainly because of the Obama effect. It wasn't really because of Sununu wasn't really disliked. Barack Obama just ran a very wild campaign in 2008. We know that in the 2008 presidential race, I want to believe Barack Obama won a landslide in the state of New Hampshire, and Sununu definitely overperformed. Down in the ballot over McCain, right? He did way better than McCain did in New Hampshire. So that is part of the reason. But yes, and I think we could take this seat out. We're gonna have to see, but first, let's go ahead and pull up Jackson Jude. I do wish we had Jackson Jude had the other counties here, but this is the average trend. I would imagine that Sununu will win Coos County, but you'll also see here. This is how it typically is. I think Coos County will probably be solid Republican for Sununu here. And it also depends on where Sununu's coming from. Speaking of coming from, we also got to play with the fact that, Chris Pappas is from the House of Representatives, meaning that he comes from a Senate district. Which district does Chris Pappas even come from anyway? That's a good question to ask. And he comes from the 1st district, okay, comprising of, I'm not a fan that we don't have county results, we just have municipalities. But yeah, I would say Rockingham, wherever he resides. I mean, for instance, let's go ahead and see the members. Manchester, okay. He comes from Manchester. Now, that's all the way down here. Can he pick that place up? Well, it really does depend on how much he won Manchester by. Let's see how Kelly Ayotte won Manchester. I mean, let's be honest. Her opponent, Kelly Ayotte, I'm referring to, her opponent was from Manchester. She's the mayor of Manchester, Joyce Craig. So, Democratic mayor of Manchester, and yeah, she won. Well, actually, no, did she? Manchester is probably right. Yeah, I'd assume. Okay, right here. Yeah, Manchester voted against like right here, this is Manchester. They voted against Craig, surprisingly. You would think they'd vote for her. She's the mayor. Maybe she's just that disliked. But will Manchester back will they back Chris Pappas? I'm not so sure. We'll have to. That's referring to all of Hillsborough County, but we'll wait on that. I do think Coos goes anyway. Belknap will also go. Pappas, Pappas will probably win in Grafton County. And you'll see Sullivan, I think, will go for Sununu, a tight margin. Carroll County, I would say, definitely goes to Sununu. I would say more in a leaning margin at this point. I'm not sure. Should I give this to Pappas? I'm not sure. We'll wait on Hillsborough as of right now. We'll go ahead and give Rockingham. We got Stratford. We'll make it leaning Democrat. So it's definitely making shifts to the right. And that's what we need. I definitely think that county, let's see here, I think it's Merrimack County, definitely going for Harris. We'll say it goes to Pappas. And then finally, you have Hillsborough County. It's very difficult to say. He comes from that county, and he's the congressman, maybe from this area. It's very difficult to say how very compacted this race is. I might want to have it be tilting Republican as of right now. So this is pretty much my prediction. You could assume that this is overall a Sununu victory by margin gap. Harris only won New Hampshire by 2.8. This looks like if it's a Democrat victory, it's definitely a Pappas plus 0.5 or something like that, in that sort of margin gap. And it really does depend on the populations also. We'll just say, as of right now, until we see proof and evidence, we'll predict that we'll just call this one for Pappas this time. Because right now, technically, you do have Chris Pappas winning in the polls. But the next time we cover this race will be in 2026. I would assume and I would hope that this race has changed a lot since then. But I'm looking at it's looking like a very tight and close race. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.